Greetings and welcome from the Randolph County School System. My name is Tim Moody. I am the Public Information Officer. I'm here with our Superintendent, Dr. Stephen Gainey, and this is the November 2016 edition of From the Desk of. We're grateful to Randolph Communications for giving us the opportunity each month to get out in front of our community and talk about some of the great things that are going on in our school district. And Dr. Gainey, next week is the week of Thanksgiving. It's a busy time of year, of course. Seems like we always say that. This coming Monday evening we have our Board of Education work session and also our Board of Education meeting and a special work session this time around. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, Tim, it is special. One of my favorite times of the year because the legislators, our legislators, always come in November and we talk to them about some of the concerns we have before they go back to Raleigh for the legislative session. And I just appreciate they come in and we may use that time to review some things that may have gone well or didn't go well with the state budget from our perspective. And we also share concerns as they are getting ready to work on the next year's budget. And I just appreciate their openness to come and talk to us. We have a great conversation. We parallel that a little bit in January when our commissioners come in a very similar format. But so next week will be fun to be with them, and they're always very easy to talk to, even out in the community, and they're very responsive when we reach out to them during the year. But I just want to say thank you in advance to them because you know, they've got a lot of things on their plates too, but they always make time for us in November at our work session. So it'll be fun and gets us a chance to learn some things that they're dealing with, because as we share things and they respond, and you learn a lot from that session. You really do.
Right. Well, as I said, we're in mid-November as we record this, and right around the corner is winter weather. You know, we don't like to think about that, but it's coming. A couple of years ago, we created an inclement weather video, which we have posted on our website. It's there as we speak. There's a lot of detail regarding how we handle inclement weather situations with regard to school closing and early dismissals and delays. Thought I might give you the opportunity, without getting into a whole lot of detail, but perhaps just an overview of the approach that we take as a school district when bad weather hits.
Well, first, Tim, as you know, it's always safety. That's, you know, if that can never be a secondary issue to consider. And so we're always going to make decisions based on the safety of our students, the safety of our staff, and also the safety of our parents, because we have a lot of parents that drive their children to school. And so some people get lost and think it's just, oh, let's get the kids home, but you need to make sure you're getting your staff members home too, and the parent drivers. But you know, it is a pretty extensive process, and so basically, whenever we have winter weather, there's three scenarios that play out. One is the night before we're hearing it and that we might have winter weather, and so are we going to delay school or cancel school? Mm-hmm. And then if we get past that stage, then we may get in school one day and weather's coming, and then we have to think about whether we're going to release early. I'll tell you the one that I've said this several years, that scares me is releasing early. And the reason why I don't like the release early, but we might have to, is because I always worry about the smaller children going home and no one being there. We have some safeguards to prevent that, but I always worry about that small child somewhere that is alone at home. So, you know, another thing about this whole process that people don't understand is, you know, when we release school, we have to gauge it, because it takes about 2 hours and 20 minutes for the buses to leave school, deliver the children at home, and get back parked. And so we have to allot that amount of time, and some people they don't understand why we have to release so much earlier than maybe when the weather's going to arrive. But we've got to be careful there. And so, and in the mornings when say we get through the evening and we have not made a decision, and so we get up early in the morning and we're thinking there's still a possible issue here. Well, Marty Trotter and the transportation staff and myself, we're usually out. You know, we're in our offices probably, you know, anywhere from 3 to 5 o'clock in the morning. But we have to make a decision by 5 o'clock in the morning, because we need to get a phone call out to the parents if we're going to delay or cancel. Now, if we're not doing anything but having a regular school day, we don't make a phone call out. But if it's a delay or a cancellation, then we have to get that phone call out by 5:15, because buses start rolling at 5:15 in order, you know, on a normal day they roll at 5:15 to be able to go get the children and get them back to school. So we don't want buses rolling if it's not a good situation and a safe situation. So, the parents are always very helpful in this or these types of situations, but it's a pretty big process there. And again, I go back to the one that makes me the most nervous is we're in school and we're getting ready, going to have to release early. I just worry about the real little kids and want to make sure they're taken care of. And we do have some safeguards there with our buses and as far as children getting off buses, and making sure parents are at home. But it's always been a worry of mine. So we do the best we can, but we're not going to ever ignore safety in any of these situations.
Right. And I recall back in the day when I was in school, when winter weather hit, you tend to stay glued to your television set and wait for that scroll to let you know whether or not you had school, but that has certainly changed. And even though we still use the TV media outlets, there are a whole lot of other ways that we can communicate now. So could you give us just a bit of an overview as to how we get the word out?
Well, as you know, when we have changes, I wake you up too, and you go to the school system website. We do not go to the individual school system or the individual school websites because we don't want conflicting information. So what we stress with the public is that any announcement on a website will be on the school system website only. We use Twitter, we use Facebook. We've opened the doors as much as we possibly can to get information out. We do call radio stations, television stations like you mentioned, and we also send out the phone call message. Like I say, in the mornings, we'll get that message out by 5:15 in the morning. So we just try to flood the gates with everywhere we can go with the message so parents have as much information as they need and as we can get them at the time. But we also have to remember something else, and this gets lost in the whole situation too. Whenever you cancel or delay, you're putting a lot of hardships on a lot of people. So we have to be real careful with these decisions. Safety can't be ignored, but you also have to get the information to parents because all of a sudden they have to start making different plans with their work schedules and family schedules. So just it's a pretty big picture going on in the mornings and in the evenings before when winter weather comes.
So a moment ago I mentioned that this Monday evening we have a Board of Education work session and a board meeting. And as we do at each board meeting, we have special recognitions. This coming Monday evening, we're going to be recognizing some schools. First of all, we'll be recognizing some P-TECH signature schools, Coleridge Elementary and Level Cross Elementary. Can you tell us what that award is about?
Well, Tim, we're a member of the P-TECH Consortium, which is the Piedmont Triad Education Consortium, and it's a group of about 16 school systems right in this part of the state. And every year, there's a special breakfast in December, and we typically get to pick 2 schools that we want to showcase that are really moving forward. And the 2 that are going to be recognized this year as signature schools is Level Cross Elementary School and Coleridge Elementary School. And just, there's a lot I could say about both of those schools, but those schools continue to get better. They have 2 great principals. Debbie Sharon is at Level Cross Elementary School and Joe Glidewell at Coleridge Elementary School. But when you look beyond the principal, there are 2 dynamite staffs. And it does get it's a little tough for me as a superintendent when we start recognizing individual schools because there's so much that's going on in each one of our schools, our 31 schools, that's exciting. And our schools are getting better, and they're getting better because there's a clear example at Level Cross and Coleridge, what's going on in other schools. We have principals leading, we have teachers looking at strategies and planning differently to address students' special needs and individual needs. And then you take it 2 steps farther. You have students who are responding and parents who are providing tremendous support at home for our school system. So it's exciting for those 2 schools. If they gave me 10 slots, we could easily fill the 10 slots up for the P-TECH signature schools. And quite frankly, I could fill 31 up real quick because I'm very proud of what's going on system-wide. And if you're going to talk about continuous improvement with your principals in your schools, you need to commit to it. And what we've talked about is try to get your school to move forward. And if it does move backward, try to minimize the backward movement. And our principals have embraced that idea. And so be very proud to see Debbie and Joe to be there in December when we go to the event in early December to see their schools recognized. And then they'll be also this Monday night with the board. They'll be excited for their schools, but I'm equally excited that we've got some momentum in this school system, and it's being led by schools such as Level Cross and Coleridge.
Okay, and then the other recognition, well, there'll be several recognition, but the other school recognition will be the Superior Performance Schools. Level Cross again, and then the other one is Archdale Elementary School. So could you share with us a little bit about what you need to do to be a Superior Performance School?
Well, the Superior Performance School is our own local award, and you need to move your composite forward from one year to the next by 10 or more points. That means the percentage of students at or above level 3 on the end of grade, end of course test, and you need to make high growth. And both Level Cross Elementary School and Archdale Elementary School did accomplish both feats last year. Again, I mentioned Debbie Sharon leads Level Cross Elementary School. She has a fantastic staff. Just go visit that school sometime and see what's going on in classrooms and the collaboration. And if you don't see enough of it there, then ride down the road to Archdale Elementary School and see Lisa Thompson and her staff and see what's going on good for kids. But Level Cross improved their performance composite by 10 plus points, and Archdale Elementary School improved their composite by 14 plus points. So, you know, it's exciting, but again, they are examples, as I just mentioned, they're examples of what the staff members in this school system are doing and what the children in the school system and parents are doing in response to the different things we're trying and different strategies, instructional practices that we're trying over time, and the overall commitment to continuous improvement. Continuous school improvement is huge, and we've got to commit to it, and I'm very proud of our staff members for committing to it. We're not saying we're not going to get excited if you don't improve by this much. We're saying we're getting excited when you improve. And we're also going to get excited if something causes you to slide backwards a little bit, but you can minimize it. We're going to be excited because we know that's not an easy task either. And there are things that happen in schools during school years that are beyond the staff's control, the students' control, the parents' control, the principal's control. And sometimes you have to deal with those, and minimizing backward movement is equally important.
Right. So staying on the topic of school performance, the state has released state report cards, a snapshot for our district and also for each of our schools, and we want to share that information with the parents in our school district. So there's going to be a rollout here in the next few days and weeks. Can you give us a sequence of events there?
Well, the state released the report cards November 14th, and that's, we watched that, and we have to wait for that to happen first. And then there is a snapshot document that we will send home of each, for each student's school and the school system, and we'll send that home. And it takes us a while to get those printed and packaged up for the parents. So that'll come home November 30th. And so it takes us a little bit of time from when the state actually releases the report cards to when we can actually get the materials out. So November 30th, those documents will be coming home for parents. Provides a lot of good information about their child's school as well as the school system as a whole.
Right. Okay. So Dr. Gainey, next week is Thanksgiving. What I'd like to do now is give you an opportunity, just in the context of being the superintendent for this school district. I know you're proud of what you see as you get out into the schools. What are you thankful for?
Well, obviously this school system is very special to me. We have some great kids. I'm very grateful that we have the kids and the families that we get to work with here. I think our staff's fantastic. Our principals continue to get better. Our teachers are getting better. And there's just a lot of things about the community in general. I don't go anywhere in this community where I don't feel welcome. It's been a very, I'm in year 4 here. Sometimes I pinch myself and think, wow, have I been here my whole career? Because it feels that way. One of the exciting things it's started to develop over the last couple of years is I'm meeting more graduates from this school system who are coming back in one way or another, contributing, whether in the classroom or in another role, or just as a community member and saying, I want to be supportive and provide support for you guys in one way or the other. So I think the biggest thing I could say is just the collective picture here. I don't feel like our school system is out there by itself. I believe we've got a surrounding community that wants us to do well. They have high expectations for us. And we have them for ourselves, but that's what's exciting. That's what I'm thankful for, because in the end of the day, everything we do and everything the larger community does is about the future of kids. You know, we all had that growing up. We all had the opportunity to be kids and go to school and learn and be creative and let our interests go in the many different directions we wanted to go in. Be involved in activities, athletics, band, chorus, whatever we chose, we had that opportunity. And I believe this community in Randolph County is one of those communities that is committed to making sure opportunities are there for kids and opportunities for a successful future. So, you know, it may not, you know, thankful and also a big thank you to a wonderful community, because I continue to meet individuals here that when you ask them where they went to school, Randolph County School System, it's exciting to see what they're doing as professionals now, because that plays out well for our kids.
Right. Well, it is a great community in which to live. It's a great school system in which to work. And Dr. Gainey, thank you for the time that you've given us, and thank you to Randolph Communications, again, as you do each month, for giving us the opportunity to get out in front of you and share with you the great things that are going on. It's been a great school year, and we look forward to speaking with you again in December.